Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I got an interesting video for you guys today. While we're fiddling our thumbs, waiting for the Leviathan to show up today, don't you guys wish that you guys could determine what the next Galactic Legend would be, the next marquee character, conquest unit, whatever it might be? Well, oddly enough, CG is putting out a survey and asking you guys, what do you want to see next in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes? This is a very rare occurrence. Last time I remember them doing something like this was maybe many years ago. So it's kind of the first time they're bringing it back. They're putting out a character survey, which I'll leave a link down below directly to the survey for you guys to fill out. And I thought while we're sitting here, just kind of waiting for this Leviathan to show, I thought this would be a lot of fun to talk about. What would I want to see in these variety of categories? And I would love to see your thoughts down below, or at least put it in the survey. There's no guarantee that what we put in will happen, but I got a suspicion that if we get enough responses on some of these items that are kind of on the same page, CG didn't want to follow the money, and this is a great opportunity to give the community what they want. Again, we're playing this game not to do conquest chores 5 million times and constantly buy conquest passes and all that. We're living this game, we're playing through this game to relive those magical moments of characters that are inside of our pockets. Kind of cool, right? So let's fill this out together. They start out right from the very top. What would you like to see as a new Galactic Legend character? Now, I'm gonna be honest, my mind immediately, if you guys know me, my mind immediately gravitated towards a brand new Mandalorian. Well, this is before season 3 came. I would love to have seen Din Djarin get to a Galactic Legend status with a Darksaber. For sure, we have room for a new Mandalorian when he had a Darksaber, but he was a bit unskilled at the time we've seen him with the Darksaber, or a jetpack, or one of the Beskar pikes. However, when we saw Mandalorian season 3, it kind of became evident that I don't think we're heading towards a Darksaber Galactic Legends Mando. So I'm gonna put in here, but I have a feeling a lot of you guys are gonna put out the don't be shy. I know what you guys are gonna put in there. I'm gonna put it into if there's gonna be a hype Galactic Legend, it's gotta be a brand new Revan Reborn. My gosh, since the dawn of the Galactic Legend concepts, there's been so many comments. I want a new Revan. I want a new Revan. I want to tell you guys something. The Revan era, the Old Republic era, is one of the most profitable eras in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes history, and I'm sure the Leviathan will probably show something similar to that. They know Old Republic sells well, especially when it's tied to Revan. I mean, I can't tell you how many fan kit reveals people have made. There's some well thought out ones, like here's one right here from Marigosh. This actually wasn't posted too long ago, just this past December. Very well written. I mean, you kind of did the double take and realize, oh, this is a fan kit, not a real thing right here. I would be surprised if we ended up in a situation where we never got a Revan. So I'm going to put in Revan Reborn. I think it's got to be one that just comes to my mind immediately, and I would be surprised if this was not a top 3 result that CG ended up getting. Now, the one that actually made me think quite a lot was Conquest. Who would I want as a new Conquest character? This is kind of tough because Conquest, I mean, I'm not sure how you guys see it. So obviously Galactic Legends are top. I always kind of debate, like, where is Conquest higher or lower than a legendary journey type of character? I kind of feel like they're more difficult to get than some of those journey characters, legendary characters. I think that's kind of a little bit higher up there. So you got to kind of find this type of character that's not quite nutty, where they are kind of Galactic Legend status, but you also need to make sure they're not too insignificant. Now, this option that I'm going to put out there, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys disagree with me. There's a lot of interesting Conquest characters out there, and I know Conquest is even people's favorite game mode, so you probably won't even care, because we're like, I'm just going to come, oh, I'm not even going to get the Conquest character, and I always feel bad because I want people to get as many Conquest characters as possible. Unfortunately, in-game model doesn't match my model, but the one that came to my mind, I'm not sure if it's significant enough. I would love to see a Count Dooku, well, technically it's, pre-Count Dooku, that we saw from Tales of the Jedi. Sort of like a lifter unit, I suppose, maybe for Galactic Republic, maybe for Qui-Gon Jinn teams, or maybe just taking advantage of all the other leftover characters that we have in the game that are unused in the Galactic Republic faction. The issue is this isn't like that significant where it's Galactic Legend status, but this definitely kind of borders, this could be a marquee level thing. So I'm not quite sure if this is gonna be probably the best answer to put in. I'm sure you guys are gonna come up with a lot better ones, but I was just sitting there thinking, I really kind of want a new Jedi Dooku or whatever. But I'm sure a lot of you guys have some other ideas. Let's do Jedi Dooku, Tales of the Jedi, or something like that, or Pre-Fallen Dooku. next on Marquee. This was too easy. There's so many characters that are easily a Marquee level thing. Basically, what I'm looking at is just characters I love, factions that I wish were just a little bit better of some sort. So when I look at the Marquee area, one of the things I'm really looking at are some teams I wish could have a little bit more love. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm very biased. I got to put something Mandalorian on this list, you know? I kind of look at the Mandalorian faction. You have the Maul team, but then you kind of got the second string of Mandalorians that really aren't all that hot. Or even hell, Beskar Mandalorian, his lead isn't really all that crazy. You know, he's kind of just used as like, you kind of forget about him until Wonder of the Force shows up. I kind of wish he was a little bit better of a character. So wouldn't it be pretty neat, y'all, if maybe we had Paz Vizsla come to Star Wars Galaxy? I'm certain this is going to happen at some point, especially seeing how his arc became, well, I guess spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't seen Mandalorian Season 3, why are you watching me? But I do appreciate you're watching me, though. Mandalorian Season 3 story arc show that Paz Vizsla died a very heroic death. I would be surprised if we never see this guy come. Big Daddy, big jetpack, big guns. What more do you guys want? And of course, I believe if I'm correct, Jon Favreau also voices characters. So kind of a neat little cherry on top. So this one, I don't think we really need to explain too much. I think it's a perfect level of a Marquee character. Although I do want to emphasize, there's a lot of other characters I would like to see. We've been talking about Bail Organa, for example, recently. Nub and stuff. I always mess up with the guy's name. I don't know why. Ever since the Ewoks come out, my Yub Nubs get confused of other characters that have some Ubs in their name. That's a me problem. So there's a lot of great Marquee characters. I'm sure you guys can put a lot of fantastic suggestions in the survey. For me, I like Mandalorians. I think there's some room to make some Mandalorians a little bit better, especially the ones that don't get picked up by Maul, and Beskar should be a bit better. In my opinion, Paz Vizsla seems to be a really cool option. Now, capital ships. I'm surprised they're like knocking all these categories. I wish they'd maybe put one for like a legendary, because I think legendary it's deserving of its own tier. But capital ships are tough. I mean, majority of our time in Star Wars is taking place just like looking at the characters. Ships is, I mean, even though the ships are really cool, they define some of the most iconic moments inside of Star Wars history. Cap ships are a little bit tough, but the way I'm looking at it, I'm kind of looking at things I think are likely. They already have some of the seedlings inside of Galaxy of Heroes and characters that should be a lot better. Now, if you guys know me, my absolute favorite conquest unit of all time, definitively the best. All my videos have been so positive. Admiral Trench. Okay, jokes aside, I think he's definitely, especially with more time given, I wasn't impressed initially, and I'm even more unimpressed since then. He's definitely bordering on bottom. Let's be nice. The bottom quarter of conquest units. There is no arguing he's in higher end of the list. There's just no way. Look at the math for a second. Almost everyone that has the word Admiral, Grand Admiral, Admiral, they have a capital ship, except this guy. This is the only Admiral inside of Galaxy that does not a capital ship yet. I almost feel like this could be one of those characters that's not all that great, but then eventually down the road, they're like, well, what do you know? Let's add a ship to them, and all of a sudden, they're going to be a lot more valuable. So one of the ships that we have, for example, you have the Legends Invincible, and we also have the Canada appearance as well here. This would be kind of interesting to see Admiral Trench. If he got a little bit of love, we already see him on a capital ship inside the Lord Vader event. I think this is actually one that makes a lot of sense. We have the seedlings in game. The only downside is we probably need some more Separatist units, but that's going to come, I think, a little bit later in the character surveys we're going to talk about. So I'm going to put this in here. Yes, the Invincible was the Providence class dreadnought and capship that served in the naval forces of the Confederacy of the independent systems during the Clone Wars as the flagship of Hark Separatist Admiral Trench. So let's do it. We're going to, I think this is the right one. I can't remember. I have to go back and what episodes did it appear in? Let's see. Notes and references. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Cat and Mouse. There we go. Depicts the Invincible with what Star Wars ships of the galaxy identifies as proton torpedo launchers. Cool. Got to make sure I got the right one. So let's type in Invincible. I want to bring up another thought. I didn't even think about this till now. Invincible Admiral helps them out a little bit. Before we get to this last part, I just thought about, I saw in the suggestions over here, there's a thread on Thrawn up there. I would not be surprised. I don't think we're quite ready for it, but I would not be surprised if maybe down the road we maybe got ourselves a new Galactic Legends Thrawn or something like that. So, but I think Revan Reborn is probably going to be a lot more popular of a response. And lastly, kind of tying in with our Admiral Trench, which unit would you like to see for a new ship? I'm going to say let's make some wiggle room to start building out another Separatist fleet. It's just kind of difficult. I know there's some other ships that could exist there, but again, when you think of capital ships, we're kind of knocking out a lot of the iconic ones. Of course, you could think of Leviathan, and no matter what ship you really pick out as a capital ship, you're going to need to flesh it out. We don't have that many ships in game. So I'm going to put in to help out Admiral Trench. Let's go throw in a droid tri-fighter. I absolutely love these. These things are so cool. I think this is a lot of wiggle room to make a new separatist fleet, or heck, even maybe, let's say, for example, we put more droids on the Malevolence, and then Admiral Trench, kind of like what he does to the character, he takes advantage of the non-separatist droids. So maybe he makes the Genosians really good. They add, heck, maybe even add Count Dooku's type of ship, or Asajj Ventress could get a ship. So there's definitely a possibility they could do something like that. So I'm going to put a droid tri-fighter in, not necessarily for Trench, but maybe this will give the flexibility to separate out the Malevolence as well as the Invincible for Admiral Trench. Overall, I think this is a really, I don't know if there's much value in it, except we're just here having fun. This is what I like to see. I like seeing this engagement, and I'm hoping that this actually pans out for something rather than just someone doing this for just for their own enjoyment. I hope this actually is going to lead to some interesting discussions. Getting characters that people love to see is what keeps us in this game. The game's paywalled and all that stuff. At the end of the day, it's the Star Wars that keeps us here. It's the Star Wars that kind of binds us as a community for this game. So I would love to see one of these things come out. If I had to pick one thing that I feel very confident is going to happen, and sooner rather than later, I think Revan Reborn is going to be probably the biggest thing. I think people would get massively. Maybe I'm wrong, but at the same time, I'm never wrong. Leave your thoughts down below. More importantly, go ahead, fill in that survey. Let them know directly what you guys want to see. This isn't one of those like videos where I wish list. They're asking for that wish list that you send directly, and if you've been good, they're going to check the list twice to see if you've been naughty or nice. But around here, we're always on the nice list, because we're always saying, we're always living the dream. How it's great to be in the Empire today.
Oh, it's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.